On Sunday, November 24, detectives were escorting Oswald through the basement of Dallas Police Headquarters toward an armored car that was to take him from the city jail to the nearby county jail. At 11:21 a.m. Central Standard Time, Dallas nightclub operator Jack Ruby approached Oswald from the side of the crowd and shot him once in the abdomen at close range. As the shot rang out, a police detective recognized Ruby and exclaimed, "Jack, you son of a bitch." The crowd outside the headquarters applauded when they heard that Oswald had been shot. An unconscious Oswald was taken by ambulance to Parkland Memorial Hospital, to the same hospital where Kennedy was pronounced dead 2 days earlier. Oswald died at 1:07 p.m. Dallas Police Chief Jesse Curry announced his death on a TV news broadcast at 2:45 p.m. The same day, an autopsy was performed on Oswald in the office of the county medical examiner. Dallas County Medical Examiner Earl Rose announced the results of the gross autopsy. The two things that we could determine were, first, that he died from a hemorrhage from a gunshot wound, and that otherwise he was a physically healthy male. Rose's examination found that the bullet entered Oswald's left side in the front part of the abdomen and caused damage to his spleen, stomach, aorta, vena cava, kidney, liver, diaphragm, and 11th rib before coming to rest on his right side. A network television pool camera was broadcasting live to cover the transfer. Millions of people watching on NBC saw the shooting as it happened, and on other networks within minutes afterward. In 1964, Robert H. Jackson of the Dallas Times-Herald was awarded the Pulitzer Prize for photography for his photograph taken immediately after the shot was fired, as Oswald began to double over in pain. Ruby later said he had been distraught over Kennedy's death and that his motive for killing Oswald was saving Mrs. Kennedy the discomfiture of coming back to trial. Others have hypothesized that Ruby was part of a conspiracy. G. Robert Blakey, chief counsel for the House Select Committee on Assassinations from 1977 to 1979, said, "The most plausible explanation for the murder of Oswald by Jack Ruby was that Ruby had stalked him on behalf of organized crime, trying to reach him on at least 3 occasions in the 48 hours before he silenced him forever." Miller Funeral Home had great difficulty finding a cemetery willing to accept Oswald's remains. Rose Hill Cemetery in Fort Worth eventually agreed. A Lutheran reverend reluctantly agreed to officiate but then failed to appear. Reverend Lewis Saunders of the Fort Worth Council of Churches volunteered, saying that someone had to help this family. He performed a brief graveside service under heavy guard on November 25. Reporters covering the burial were asked to act as pallbearers. Oswald's original tombstone, which gave his full name, birth date, and death date, was stolen 4 years after the assassination, and his mother replaced it with a marker simply inscribed Oswald. His mother's body was buried beside his in 1981. A claim that a look-alike Russian agent was buried in place of Oswald led to the body's exhumation on October 4, 1981. Dental records confirmed it was Oswald. The remains were reburied in a new coffin because of water damage to the original. In 2015, Miller Funeral Home employed a Los Angeles auction house to sell the original coffin to an anonymous bidder for $87,468. The sale was halted after Oswald's brother Robert sued to reclaim the coffin. In 2015, a district judge in Tarrant County, Texas, ruled that the funeral home intentionally concealed the existence of the coffin from Robert Oswald, who had originally purchased it and believed that it had been discarded after the exhumation, and ordered it returned to Robert Oswald along with damages equal to the sale price. Robert Oswald's attorney stated that the coffin would likely be destroyed as soon as possible.